Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our next Facebook Live. I'm so happy that we're here together. We've got Rue here in her little chair. She loves to teach side by side with me. Although you can't see her right now, she's saying hello as well. So we decided, our team and I decided, my team, our team, it's your team too, because we're all in service to you. We decided that there was such a huge response from our Earth Angel Global Summit. We had 1,300 light workers from around the world attend our recent Global Summit 10 days ago, and it was so powerful. If you haven't been able to catch the replay, you can purchase the replay on my website. It's still available. And we had such an incredible response from around the world, and so many questions come in during our live Q&A that we thought, wow, what a fantastic opportunity that we could address some more of these questions on Facebook Live, because questions are, for me, are the heart of learning. You know, it's like our curiosity, our innocence is always asking why and how and where can I learn more and how can I grow more. And as a lifelong learner from my own innocence, I really honor the innocence within each and every one of you. We only have a certain amount of time here, so we'll only be able to get to a certain amount of questions. We literally have 2 pages of questions that came in, but I love the Q&A format, as many of you know from attending some of my live events. I really thrive on that dialogue, because for me, this is a dialogue that's happening between myself and Sophia God, myself and the Sophia Dragon Tribe, but it's also a dialogue that you're having between your own direct communion with Sophia God and your own direct communion with your Ascended Master mentors. And there's this dialogue that's happening between you and I. And I just want you to know what an honor and a privilege it is for me to be on this journey with you. I don't say that as some sort of like cliche thing to say because it's a nice thing to say. I say it because I mean it. I worked very, very hard to be at this place in my life where I can have this conversation with you, and I value it deeply, and I always will. So I want to thank you again for those of you who joined us for the Earth Angel Global Summit. It was absolutely amazing to be together for that long in the presence of Mary Magdalene and all of the Ascended Masters, blessing us and deeply activating us during that recent full moon lunar eclipse portal. I don't know about you, but January has rocked me to my core with the amount of it feels as though it was the completion of 2018. All of January felt like it was a scrubbing clean of any last karmic learning and lessons and stretching our bandwidth and our capacity to prepare for this new year. And it personally, I have many memories of parallel lifetimes, sometimes called past lives, and I've had many of them in other lifetimes in Asia. And so the Chinese New Year's calendar has always been a deeper reckoning for me personally than the Western calendar. I always feel the energy shift when the new year comes in on January 1st, but I really don't feel it in my bones and in the core of my being until it's the Chinese New Year. And that's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow we are moving from the year of the dog into the year of the pig. And I personally couldn't be happier about it from my sign. The year of the dog was very challenging for me, and I learned a lot. I'm very, very grateful for all of the lessons that came with this past year. So I personally have been feeling that final cleansing and purification and opening in preparation for the Chinese New Year tomorrow. And for me, that's really we're out of the gate now for 2019. It's when we cross the threshold of the Chinese New Year. So I want to say Happy New Year to you again here at this gateway. And I want to thank you for being so active this month with myself and our team and with this campaign that we've been sharing with others about our wings being up now, that it's absolutely essential in 2019 that we are seen as way showers of Sophia Christ consciousness, that we are seen as way showers of the light, the angelic ray of light that each of us have been given as an aspect of our divinity. And all year long, I'm going to be working with Mary Magdalene and all of the divine feminine ascended masters to support our collective, our beautiful international community in keeping our wings up, keeping our hearts open, and keeping our eyes, our inner eyes and our inner ears clearly focused upon that which is ours to tend to, the garden of heaven on earth that you and I came here to not only give birth to, but to also tend to with our own two hands. So I recently wrote in a Facebook post, I think it was a couple, I don't even remember, Lord only knows. But I spoke about how the pressures and the extreme circumstances of my life taught me the precious teachings that heaven on earth is built one brick at a time, and it's built through one heart awakening at a time. And this is why I am personally on such a mission to activate as many people as possible over the course of my life to the awakening, the spiritual awakening, and the embodiment of our shared sovereign divinity. 2019 represents a pivotal year in my personal and our collective quest for that to happen. It almost feels as though the past few years that we've been living in activation with the Ascended Masters through the Sophia Code movement have been simply training wheels to get ready for the spiritual maturity that is being asked of us at this time, including the maturity, the willingness to understand and two pieces, to understand that none of us have the luxury of not leading at this moment in time. We're faced with far too many global crises to rest on our laurels or think that any of us can go into retirement as leaders because, or that we're not good enough to lead or not qualified to lead, because none of that is true. If you're on this call with me right now, the reality is that Sophia God has magnetized you to this transmission to fully understand that you are a living angel on earth. You carry angelic DNA within your divine genome that wants to be activated this year. It wants to be not only activated, but embodied through your divine purpose and through your offering in 2019. Now, a lot of us don't necessarily that full broad vision of what is my divine purpose. You know, there are many of us that don't necessarily, that doesn't happen all at once, or and everybody's role is so unique to the karmic soul path that you chose to be here for. And part of my role as an activator and as a leader in the Divine Feminine Christ movement and for the Sophia Code movement was the understanding that I came here to birth new blueprints of consciousness for leadership, for all of us to lead together. And I can't say that that's been an easy dharma to fulfill over the past few years, but I can say that I'm very, very happy that I listened to the prayer of my heart to follow through and to accomplish why I came here. And one of those blueprints arises directly, of course, the master blueprint is the Sophia Code, but one of those blueprints I will be revealing this year in 2019. Which is finally the gift that's going to keep on giving for everyone, our first certification program, which I'm going to share more about at the end of this call. So I just wanted to let you know how deeply moved I am to be here with you and with our community, and how precious it is to me that we continue to meet in this way across the heart waves, across the airwaves. And that I'm just so grateful that this blueprint of the Sophia Code has inspired you as much as me, and that each of us, that it's here to serve you in your divine purpose and your leadership, especially this year. So I'll get more into that towards the end of the call. And for now, I just want to say thank you again for attending our Earth Angel Global Summit. It was quite a reckoning from Mary Magdalene and the Divine Feminine Ascended Masters. It wasn't some It wasn't just some lay back and do some airy fairy healing. It was a true call to action that, you know, we read many posts and received many emails of how much people were integrating, light workers were integrating post ceremony. And we just want to say thank you for your willingness to grow and to deepen and to integrate at that level. It's very powerful. And it's a huge gift to us all that you're willing to hear the call of the Order of Magdalene at this time, and to really step into more of your true self with your wings fully up, so that you're no longer hiding who you really are here on earth. I have some notes here that I'll be reading that my team prepared for me. It's just to help me make sure I stay on track, because I could talk forever, honestly. Right. One of the things that I want to remind everyone that has to do with this message is that if you are feeling the heaviness and the weight of the world right now, which no big surprise, the amount of global crises, the absolute chaotic circus that we're witnessing in the media every day, there's a lot of reasons to wake up and feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have every good reason to feel that way, but you have a reason beyond any good logical reason. You have an intuitive reason to know that you don't have to carry that weight on your shoulders alone. That's why we're here as a community, and that's why we're activating together with the Ascended Masters. We work as a team in our angelic mission. That's our ethos in the Sophia Code movement and in our mystery school. We know that many hands and many wings make light work of a very challenging angelic mission that ultimately leads to our highest awakening as a species. Now, whether all of humanity chooses to awaken or not at this time, it's really none of our business. But what is our business is to awaken those who are willing and wanting to see and to hear the truth of their sovereign divinity this year. So the best part about leading through divine feminine Christ consciousness is that you don't have to keep all your facts straight. You don't have to proselyte. You don't have to be like some sort of disciple, apostle. You can be your true self and trust that your direct communion with the source is always going to guide you in what to say and what to do in any given moment if you are actively choosing to embody your higher self. And that's why we work with the Divine Feminine Ascended Masters, both as a team and as our teachers in this living mystery school that we are all being initiated into. So I'm really excited to address some of these questions that we had from our Earth Angel Global Summit. And as I answer these questions, I'd really like for you to explore and experience and remember the gift that we have, that we can invoke our help and lift the weight off of our wings, knowing that we're not doing this alone. We're doing this side by side with one another and with all of the Ascended Masters of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. So let's just open with an invocation before we begin with the questions. We call into that Holy Mother presence, Sophia God, and all names of God are welcome here. But as many of you know, in the Sophia Code, we call God Sophia. And Sophia encompasses both the divine masculine and the divine feminine principles of God. That one source light, as well as the black womb of no thing that gave birth to you and I, the perfection of our souls. And we welcome in the presence of Sophia as a waterfall of light, as well as a waterfall of unconditional love, to wash over us, to bless us, to baptize us, both arising from within, as well as flowing over your consciousness through your crown chakra all the way down through your entire body, rinsing off your wings. You may feel your wings getting a bird bath, an angel bird bath. And that beautiful waterfall flowing all the way down your legs and through your root chakra. I'd like to also welcome the beautiful Divine Feminine Ascended Masters key codes, the first 8 key codes that we meet in the Sophia Code Cosmology in section 2 of the Sophia Code. And I'd like to welcome beautiful Isis, she of 1,000 names. I'm wearing the Isis pendant that I designed right now with the Ankh of Resurrection. I welcome in beautiful Hathor, she of 1,000 voices in the Hathor Star Nation. I welcome in beautiful green Tara, she of 1,000 stars, and the Order of Dakinis. We welcome beautiful Mother Mary, she of 1,000 roses. Key code 4 of the Sophia code. I welcome beautiful Mary Magdalene. And we're here at the Mary Magdalene altar, key code 5, she of 1,000 angels. I also welcome in Ascended Master Jesus and the entire Order of Magdalena. I also welcome in beautiful Kuan Yin, key code 6 of the Sophia code, she of 1,000 waters. She's also attended by her divine masculine counterpart, Maha-Avatar Babaji. We now welcome in key code 7, White Buffalo Woman, she of 1,000 white clouds and thunder beings, attending us in the north with the White Buffalo Syrian Star Nation. Finally, we all welcome key code 777, she who birthed sovereign creators, the Sophia dragons, the holy seraphim of Sophia God. And you can read all about them in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code if this is your first time connecting with this work. Finally, I welcome your higher self presence to this sanctuary space. I'm hearing that many of you that have gathered this evening have gone similarly through some challenges this month. And so I'd like to just take a moment to invoke your higher self, to fill your body and to fill your sacred space, and to feel your higher self washing over your awareness and bridging your human awareness with your divine consciousness. You may even begin to feel the crystalline chromosomes within your DNA begin to twinkle or sparkle in that crystalline frequency of joy, that your attention to your conscious attention to your divinity by default begins to activate your divine genome. We take it many, many steps further in the Sophia Code through the key code initiation process, but you can begin to activate your DNA with even a thought towards your sovereign divinity. It begins that process of awakening who you really are. I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. And as you do, I'd like for us to just take a moment of silence for you to feel all of this loving attention and support directed towards your heart, towards your body, towards your emotional body. There is a healing presence here, and it is the unconditionally loving and all accepting presence of Sophia God that is continually pointed towards you in every direction. But now you are pointing your awareness towards it through your own heart. And whatever you have been struggling with or wrestling with or challenged by or maybe in a lot of pain from, we call in that Holy Spirit, that Shekinah light that it's often referred to in the Christian Gnostic scripts as that dove of peace that descends over the consciousness of humanity as the peace that passeth understanding. It's a peace that is unconditionally peaceful. It doesn't require circumstances to be peaceful. It is the divinity of peace itself. And that's what you and I are inside a big prayer to embody for humanity, but most importantly, to embody for ourselves first this year. And you may feel that presence of the peace that passes all understanding begin to fill up every feather of your wings. Like you could imagine your wings, all the feathers of your wings, as though they had straws and they were just sucking up all of that light from Sophia, deeply drinking from that mother's milk that Sophia can always provide for you. It is always providing for you. But in this moment of heightened awareness, drink deeply from the peace of God. You may even begin to feel the wings of Sophia descending over your mind and blessing your root chakra, your second chakra, your third chakra, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your ear chakras, and your crown chakra. I'd also like to welcome in, I've seen many of you have been activating your relationship with your star families since we last spoke in the Mary Magdalene initiation, activation. So I also welcome the very powerful and loving presence of your unique star family lineage. And I ask them to stand in the outer rings to support you in your own mastery so you can feel your own mastery. So for those of you who are new to my work, it's important to remember, or to know rather, excuse me, that we mentor. The way that we work with the Ascended Masters in this modern mystery school is we are mentoring with the masters to become the masters ourselves. We do not worship the Ascended Masters. We use altars as doorways for heightened communication, but it is not to put them above us or to worship them. It's to say, hey, this is how committed I am to being mentored by you, just the same way that you would be mentored by any other human relationship. If you identified someone who was like, that's my mentor or that's my teacher, and maybe you keep a picture of them nearby, or you think of them often, or you just have a very great reverence for the relationship that you have with them. It's that same concept where we are understanding how powerful the mind is to distract us from what is important in the journey of self-mastery. And so when we work with altars, when we work with the images of the Ascended Masters, we are mentally challenging ourselves to stay focused on our angelic mission. We live in an ADHD society. Literally, people have the attention span of about 3 seconds and then they're on to the next thing. And our society has conditioned us to be that way for many, many reasons, socioeconomic and otherwise. And not all of it's bad, but for the most part, it keeps you distracted from really focusing on who you really are. And it's important to create mental relationships with the Ascended Masters of the Sophia Dragon Tribe that keep you in a field of resonance, of true focus, true faith, true mastery, a solid integrated foundation of your higher self frequencies within your human form. The reason why so many people are drawn or magnetized to my work is because I work very hard every day at staying embodied and grounded in my body. There are so many channels out there that are not even in their body, checking out of their body, and looking for answers far out in the cosmos. But the irony is that everything that can shift in the cosmos must happen here in the body through your holographic physical reality. And so I encourage you, as you work with the Sophia Code and the Ascended Masters, especially in our mystery school curriculums, to identify that an Earth Angel mission is not about getting off of this planet. You'll get off eventually. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. Bound to happen. So then the prayer is, how present can you be while you're here? How fully alive, how committed can you be to being in your body and being inside your purpose, and to keep your heart open and your wings fully up while you're here in human form? That's the Jedi mission. It's not how soon can you get off. Don't worry, that's going to happen a lot sooner than you think for all of us. It's just like time is literally dissolving. Our whole experience of physical reality is dissolving over the next 5 years. So what you think, how much longer you have in this physical matrix, the way it's been constructed for hundreds of years, is quickly dissolving right between our very fingertips. And I'm not saying that out of fear. What I'm saying is that focus every strand of your attention upon how much you can bless and ground into the gift of your physical vehicle, the gift of your physical reality, the gift of your physical dharma that you came here to do. It's only when we are in deep resistance of why we came here that we suffer the way we do for being angels on earth. But when you get over it and you get into being you, get into embodying your higher self, you get far too busy to be bored or jaded about why you're here. And in reality, you become very, very activated and very, very empowered and very, very curious and interested, constantly curious and interested about what's going to happen next through you, for you, and how that's going to also affect your relationship with other people and what you're birthing in this world. It's a really exciting dragon ride to be on, but if you're in constant resistance to being here on this planet, oh, it's going to be it's really going to be 1,000 times harder for you. So it's really important in 2019 to have a gratitude practice, to have a gratitude and appreciation practice. It's going to continue to light the candles in those dark moments for you, and you're wondering, how am I going to continue to be excited about being human when I feel like the world is literally just crumbling around me with so many global crises? What is the most exciting part about that is the more the world melts down, the brighter your light is getting. So if you keep your eyes on the divinity of your light, and that we talk about in the Sophia dragons talk about it immensely in chapter 13, to stare into the truth, the fire, and the light of your own divinity and never look away again. Make that promise to yourself with your angel wings up. You're literally imploding physical reality like a lemniscate Mobius strip within you. You're going so deeply within yourself that then there is a Mobius effect upon your outer world that is radical. It's radical change. It's literally rewriting the script of physical reality through your devotion and worship and activation of your own divinity. Through that, so often when we are so deeply moved to see devotees worshiping a guru or meditating at a statue of Buddha, and there's just so much love and devotion pouring out of them, what that all symbolizes is what you're here to do with yourself. That's the level of deep devotion and worship that you're being called into in 2019. And from that space, there arises this radical lightning wisdom that's going to unfurl off of your tongue, and also through your actions, your interactions with others, in such a way that the very presence of your own divinity is going to be answering and speaking through you in unexpected ways that flip the switches of those around you very quickly. So it's important to remember that when this level of light of your own divinity starts to flip out both your switches on and everyone else's switches on around you, that simultaneously all of the fear that you had of being that powerful is going to be arising along with your light. Do you remember in Kuan Yin's story in the Sophia Code, in chapter 11 of the Sophia Code, when she was asked by the angel of the Great Commission to go out into the world and leave the jungle behind and begin to teach divine feminine Christ consciousness publicly for the first time in 7 years, and how she was so terrified by this mission that she was purifying herself by a river. She was in this prostrated position when the Sophia dragon and Babaji showed up to initiate her before her return. And literally right before she saw the Sophia dragon, she began to shake with so much fear. It overcame her like a cold sweat. How many times have you felt that cold sweat, anxiety, or fear when you're really, really afraid of someone seeing who you really are, or making a presentation, or offering your gifts and talents in a way that you hope aren't rejected, or hope they're good enough? And it's like Kuan Yin's whole body was shaking with that fear when the Sophia dragon, her Sophia dragon guide, and Babaji showed up to initiate her on her way back to the people. Well, that's what you and I are in the midst of right now. We just came through this incredible lunar eclipse full moon portal that, you know, many of us were feeling the resonance of all of our fears about being seen, literally having us flat out in our face, you know, negotiating with ourselves about what we're willing to do or not do in our leadership in 2019. And we walked through that portal, and here we are. It's the new moon in Aquarius, and the tomorrow, as well as the Chinese New Year. And the new moon in Aquarius is, wow, talk about a call to action to be seen in your leadership and service to the collective good. The sign of Aquarius is it's really the only astrological sign that's completely represented by a human figure. And so it's that archetype of what are you going to do with the fullness of your humanity in service to yourself, in service to humanity, in service to this world, in service to all the species that are here to be blessed by those water bearer jugs that the Aquarian woman carries, the water bearer carries, as a message of divine feminine Christ wisdom. And the reality is that this world and these global crises are not going to be resolved from some sort of logical approach. These crises are only going to be resolved with solutions that come from a very feminine, intuitive, receptive quantum space. They're going to be S-curve solutions that don't line up in a straight line, but when they curve back and forth, they both heal and activate simultaneously. Those who are willing and strong enough, who have the faith enough to understand that divine feminine Christ consciousness heals on multiple levels simultaneously, and as it's healing, it's also activating and integrating the next levels that need to be healed simultaneously. It's omniscient and it's multidimensional. And so each of us are being deeply initiated right now during this new moon in Aquarius portal, and how to more consciously participate in the S-curve of our spiritual awakening through divine feminine Christ consciousness, as well as the totality of Sophia Christ consciousness, which also includes divine masculine activations as well. So here we are in it together, our wings up. It's so much easier when we're doing this together. And I'm going to head into our first question, which is, what is the best way to work daily with Sophia and strengthen my wings? Well, that's a good question. The best way to work with Sophia every day is to start allowing yourself to ask for help all day long. Sophia is within you. The presence of God is within you. It's not possible for it to be any other way. It's so interesting. There's so many things from traditional Christianity that are like sort of close to the thing, but not the thing. And one of those things is when like born agains will say, well, I've accepted Jesus into my heart, so now I know that God is within me. Well, that's one way to look at reality. But what that concept is pointing to is that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit of the one Mother, the one Father of all life, that creates all and sustains all must be within you, for nothing can exist outside of that presence of Sophia God. Further, in the Sophia Code, we share that you were made in the image and likeness of Sophia. You were made as a hologram of her holy self with your own genetically arranged key code sequence that's completely unique to your soul. No one else in the whole multiverse is arranged the same way that you are. And so when you're asking, how do I cultivate a deeper relationship with Sophia? You're asking, how do I cultivate a deeper relationship with the divinity within me? Number one, you're asking, how do I begin the process of believing that there is a divine force and presence within me that I can call upon to support me in my heroic daily life? And I can tell you that it was much easier for me in my own journey of awakening for many years to pray to that energy and that presence outside of me for many years, because I didn't believe I was worthy, and I was very, very wounded from what happened to me. And so it was easier for many years to pray to God, which I eventually came to know as Sophia, to the Holy Spirit, is something that was outside of me. But as my prayers deepened, as my healing deepened, as my consciousness opened years and years ago, what I identified was that I am worthy of this divinity being within me as well. I am worthy of being as free as the totality of God. There's no difference between that Holy Spirit and the Spirit that's breathing this breath of life through me. So the prayer then is, how do I surrender into this much divinity already within me? So if you're concerned that you just can't feel that divinity within you of Sophia, don't worry about it. Just simply talk to Sophia as you would to a best friend. Ask for help, ask for support, share your feelings with this presence, this divine presence that's listening to everything that you say without judgment. What I find interesting is when I'm my most upset with myself and with my most upset with reality, or even with God, as I share those feelings honestly with the presence of divinity both within me and all around me, it's like all I feel is how much Sophia God loves me and just wants to hear exactly how I feel. So no matter how sad you are, no matter how angry you are, even how depressed you may feel, if you share that with Sophia, you're building a relationship of communion where you understand that your source is always there for you and always listening. It's an omniscient presence that's has never abandoned you, has been there with you this whole journey throughout your whole life. And we are reconciling with that divine presence, not the other way around. There was no fall from grace. There's no weird separation from God other than our own shame that we don't think we're good enough for that communion or that relationship with Sophia. So it's important to build a deeper relationship with Sophia. You're building a deeper relationship with your self-worth, your belief that you're worthy of your own divinity, and your relationship with this Holy Mother, Holy Father that created all life, that is so poignantly interested in everything that you feel and everything that you have to say and everything that you desire to create and everything that you need. That presence is always listening and waiting. Mother Mary calls it the great communion that's always calling you back. And so just practice. And no matter how vulnerable or nervous you may feel about it, maybe you could take my word for it. Or someone else that you trust that you can see has a direct relationship with Sophia God, and you can understand and maybe have some faith that this is for you as well. You could have courage that you are good enough and you are worthy enough to receive this presence that you don't have to earn. You don't have to like meditate for 1,000 hours before you can hear it or feel it. Even if you don't hear or feel Sophia speaking to your consciousness directly, I can assure you the presence of Sophia God is there and listening and responding. Mother Mary's activation in her initiation in chapter 10 of the Sophia Code speaks about how Sophia and your higher self, which is an aspect of Sophia, is continually speaking to you through physical reality, through all sorts of synchronicities and through other people and animals and all sorts of events that occur every moment of your life. So it's a journey of having the courage to work through any unworthiness issues that you may have around directly connecting with the source, and then making it a daily practice to both silently and if you want to talk out loud, go for it. I talk out loud all the time. Who cares what other people think? Um, to really deepen your relationship with Sophia is to be in a conversation, to both share and listen to what Sophia has to offer you. And it's just like any other relationship. If you're not tuning in and you're not communicating with your partner or your best friend or your coworkers, and you're just blocking them out, that's the exact opposite of building a relationship every day. Now, some of the physical things that you can do in your practice is you could build an altar where you light candles once a day or once a week. A great place to practice your communion with Sophia is in nature, going for a nature walk, allowing yourself to feel the presence of Sophia within all the trees and within the land. You can connect with Sophia in a very deep way when you are with your animal companions. Your animal companions are always aware of this overlighting presence of Sophia God loving them all of the time. And you can feel how loving they are as an aspect of Sophia's love for you. And you can soften your resistances to receiving that love as you pet your cat or take your dog for a walk, or maybe feed your bird, or whatever beautiful animal creature. Maybe you have a horse and you can really feel the power of especially the divine feminine principle coming through horses. So I encourage you to don't limit your relationship to Sophia by any one way of communion. Sophia is within all. Sophia is everywhere, and most importantly, Sophia is within you. So allow your imagination to explore and be curious. As Jesus said, bring the little children unto me, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Why did he say that? He said that because children understand that God is within everything. And that Sophia God is always seeking to surprise you and bless you and show you every day how loved you are in unexpected ways. So another great practice that you can do in deepening your relationship with Sophia God is loosening your grip of controlling behaviors that would keep you from receiving the miracles that are all around you in every given moment. Okay, so how can I commit to being here when sometimes I feel like leaving? That's a great question. I'm going to read that question again. How can I commit to being here on earth because sometimes I feel like leaving? Well, you're in good company. I think everyone on this call has probably wanted to leave this planet at least 1,000 times or more. Can I get an amen? This is the Harvard University of planets. It's a great privilege and honor to be here, although very often it doesn't feel like that, because as soon as you get here, there's a good chance you're going to get kicked around by something or someone. Why is that? It's because as divine beings, we come here to learn a certain level of musculature, maturity, and discernment as to how we're going to reconcile as well as use our sovereign creative power that was given to us with with an unlimited capacity. So what does that mean? It means when Sophia said she made you a sovereign and equal, that meant she made you sovereign and equal with your unlimited ability to create anything that you could possibly want to create. And everyone, that sounds like a really cool idea, but when you really get into the nuts and bolts of being a creator creatrix in this reality, and you identify how much responsibility goes into what you can create here, it scares the crap out of most people. And we end up piling a bunch of excuses and self-sabotaging addictive behaviors in our pathway so that we don't actually have to take responsibility for the fact that we are unlimited creator creatrix source beings. So what I have personally found is that the contrast and the polarity here on this planet can either scare the bejesus out of you and make you want to run for the hills right off this planet, find the spaceship, the first spaceship that can get you off this planet, or you can get on your face and purify yourself the way Kuan Yin did and let that fear literally jump out of your body. And when you allow that to happen and you step into that creative mode of even just taking one empowered step towards what you want to birth or create in this reality, what happens is that when you immerse yourself in your sovereign creative power, you don't want to go anywhere. What you are in the middle of, how you are serving, what you're birthing, how you're creating, how you're showing up becomes far too interesting to remember why you wanted to leave. So if you're constantly wanting to check out of your body or check out of your life, what that's an indication of is that you still haven't committed to being your full self and showing up to that creative dharma, whatever that creative dharma is for you. It's going to be different for everyone. But once you get the hands in the clay of why you're here, your hands in the clay is just going to be too interesting for you to be distracted by the crazy circus around out in the world. You're like, yeah, okay, that crazy circus is happening, that chaos, that disorder, even the atrocities and the evil. But what is mine to tend to here? What is mine to birth as a solution to that? What is my role in not only bringing balance, but bringing an entirely new paradigm as an option to that disorder? And when you allow yourself to sink into your own creative process, to really go there beyond your fears about that creative process, then you want to stay. You might not always like the creative process, because I certainly don't. There's plenty of times in my creative process where, oh boy, the feelings. But that doesn't mean I'm not fully engaged in the creative process. It just means I have my feelings about it. So, even then, anger, disappointment, or frustration becomes a fascinating part of the journey for you. That still makes you not want to go anywhere. You just want to go even deeper inside your prayer as to why you feel that way. You start looking under those rocks, turning those rocks over and discovering, oh, I have even more fears about how successful this might be, or how much this is going to impact lives. And I don't know if I'm ready for that, et cetera, et cetera. So if you don't want to leave, get your hands in the clay of why you're really here. And another thing that I recommend highly in both of my curriculums for the Sophia Code Mystery School is you need a physical practice. Many earth angels tend to be ungrounded. They live from their heart chakras up, heart, throat, third eye, crown or higher, maybe even completely checked out of their body, but they don't inhabit their solar plexus, their sacral chakra, their root chakra, their legs, their feet. And so it's really important to have a regular physical practice to get inside your body. And of course, that's, I can't make any recommendations as far as like what your healthcare practitioner is saying, but I can say what I do. I work out 6 days a week because that's what it takes for me, between yoga, weightlifting, strength training, that keeps my mind strong and my emotions clear. It's like, that's how I choose to live. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong both physically, and I want to be strong in my mind, and I don't want my emotions to rule me. Well, that means I have to have a really healthy relationship with my body. So, I eat really well. I don't take in any toxins into my body. I drink purified water that's prayed over and blessed and programmed every day. I juice. I also do fasting and cleansing. So it's like, I take my health and my body very seriously to be able to maintain myself in the spiritual marathon of why I'm here, both as an earth angel and as a spiritual leader. And I invite you to do the same. In particular, we're living in an incredibly unhealthy time as far as the environment of this planet. The environment is incredibly toxic. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that news, but it's the truth. And it's an even deeper call to action as far as like taking your health seriously, because if your body's healthy, it can keep processing those toxins out of your body. If your body isn't healthy, your body's just going to keep storing those toxins, which, as we all know, shortens your lifespan, and as well as your ability to be able to fulfill your purpose and the reason why you came here. You went through such an extraordinary effort to be here. Don't take that lightly. Um, really choose to be on your own team, to choose health, to choose the strength and well-being of your body and your mind and your emotions. You can have all your feelings and not be ruled by them if you choose to fully inhabit your body. So, you know, having a meditation practice, being able to journal your feelings, not just expect people, your friends or your family, to just be sounding boards, but taking responsibility also for the conversation that you need to be having with yourself, and with Sophia God, like really feeling that source energy being applied to yourself, your own wings making medicine on yourself, and your own commitment to loving and caring for yourself in 2019. Okay, next question from the Earth Angel Global Summit. How can I move through the deep-seated unworthiness about stepping into my purpose? Which key code should I call on to mentor with me to help with this? I think this is such a universal, um, this is such a universal challenge for so many earth angels and light workers on the planet at this time. Um, Unworthiness. You know, unworthiness has been programmed into us by society, from the moment you arrive, you know, between public education, religious dogma, even what our government teaches us about who we are and that we're owned by them. It's like, you really want to confront the underbelly of belief systems around unworthiness. Isis. That's what that entire Isis initiation, the Sophia Code, chapter 6 is about. It's like, let's go there. All of the oaths and vows that you've taken across every lifetime, both on this planet and others, all the different religious vows you might have taken, that God was above you or bigger than you or could, you know, control you. And um, maybe you took vows saying that you had fallen from grace. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And it's all addressed in the Isis initiation. So Isis would be the #1 key code mentor to begin your journey with unraveling your unconscious belief systems that you're unworthy of your purpose. I think some of the most gifted and talented light workers on this planet really wrestle with this the most. You know, this world doesn't appreciate creative genius. It if it does, it tries to make it a commodity that can then be easily parceled out and reproduced in some weird fashion. And that's not what we're here to do in our mystery school with the Sophia Code. We're here to truly honor the creative genius of Sophia God that's coming through the unique fingerprint that you are. And but you know, no one can truly value uh, your own worth if it doesn't begin first with you. It's an inside job, you know, and that's what we really look at in the year 2 curriculum, the Sophia Code year 2 curriculum. We really go there as to how much fear comes up around our creative genius with the creatrix archetype, and then how the teacher archetype and the healer archetype ask for us to reveal that creative genius through how we're making an offering in our divine purpose. So Isis is one of those Maha mentors for stepping forward in any of those, in that trinity of archetypal embodiments, as far as divine feminine Christ leadership and fulfilling your purpose. But really, every single key code of the Sophia Code cosmology are exceptional mentors for overcoming low self-worth. I know, because what I have found is, in my personal journey, Unworthiness has been so huge for me personally because what I survived. Um, it's taken such a long time to unravel all of those belief systems within myself around unworthiness of my purpose. And what I found was that, okay, Isis would come in really strong, but then maybe I could only go so far in my activations with Isis around what she was helping me release. And then I would ask Kuan Yin to come in and really help me integrate the activations that Isis was helping me walk through and clearing unworthiness issues. So I invite you to explore how each key code can meet you as you read the Sophia code, as you walk through the curriculums. Each key code is going to speak to your heart at different chapters of your life. And that's why we have so many, because every chapter of your life is so unique. And what is so beautiful about each key code of the Sophia code cosmology is not only are they walking you through the process of releasing those unworthiness belief systems, they're also guiding you and mentoring you in the resonance of worthiness. You know, your divinity and your sovereignty, Isis says you are a daughter and son of the Most High. There's nothing higher than your divinity. So you are of the greatest worth and of the greatest value. So not only do these key code mentors help you release those unworthiness challenges, they are continually building, supporting you to rebuild your self-esteem brick by brick, step by step, one embrace at a time, as Kuan Yin teaches us. It's like to resource that karuna compassion of your higher self, where you're embracing yourself so deeply that there's no separation may abide within you any longer. I've also found that a lot of unworthiness issues tends to go back to mother wounding. And so if you're needing a surrogate mother to help rebuild your self-esteem, please work with Mother Mary. She will lovingly shepherd your consciousness back into that space of childlike wonder for yourself, the beauty and wonder of who you really are. So it will always shift and change, but Isis, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, wonderful places to start. And as you get on your way, what you will find is that mentors such as Mary Magdalene and Hathor and White Buffalo Woman will start to come in and mentor you in taking those next steps to fulfill your divine purpose in a professional way, because you've built up your self-esteem and your self-worth through all of that loving resonance that you've applied to yourself. How can we learn to remove the ego to tap more into our angelic light? I would really encourage everyone to not think about having to remove or kill or destroy your ego structure, because you're going to lose. You can't rail against a part of yourself that was absolutely necessary for you to come into a human body. The ego structure, actually, I posted about that just last night with the Rose post that I did on social media. The ego structure by default arrives with the creation of your human form and your inhabiting of it. To say that there's a part of your human form that you need to reject or supersede or destroy is not serving you in any way. What happens, especially if you go back and really read chapter 2 of the Sophia Code, really go there and allow yourself to read it out loud and really savor the messages that the Ascended Masters are offering you in that chapter. What they're saying is, hey, you have a divine genome that you also inherited when you came into human form that exists side by side with your human DNA. And you can activate your divine genome, which is an operating system of your divine consciousness. Your human consciousness is such a small part of your being compared to your divine consciousness. So when you activate your divine genome, when you choose to embody your higher self, when you allow this process of this surrendering into the light of the angelic light of your higher self, you will gradually notice that your ego is fed in such a way that it doesn't need to act out to get the attention and the respect that it needs. Your divinity is assuaging the ego structure. Your divinity is absorbing your ego structure. Your divinity is uplifting and ascending your ego structure. Your divinity is also honoring the job that your ego structure has, which is to keep your body safe and to keep you here for as long as you're supposed to be here, and to teach you how to take good care of your body. So it's like, it's a getting along. There's a it's like when you allow the journey, the dragon ride of embodying your higher self is learning how all the children in the sandbox inside of your heart can play together nicely on the playground, especially your ego structure. And when you have someone as unconditionally loving and clear and omniscient as your higher self, overseeing how that, what's going on in the sandbox, you're going to notice that everyone inside of you starts to um, play with more compassion for one another. Now, with that said, when you begin your journey of embodying your higher self, your ego structure is going to flip out for a while. And that's why I created year 1 of the Sophia Code curriculum. It's for that whole journey of tempering your ego structure, to teach your ego structure, not slay it, not destroy it, but to guide it, to teach your ego structure. This is you becoming the master, teaching, lovingly parenting your ego structure to identify that your higher self is the safest person to be running the show of your life, that your higher self is the most successful option for you, for you living a healthy, beautiful, and thriving life, not your ego structure. In reality, your ego structure doesn't want to be in control of the show, but if it's not assured that your higher self has got the job, it will kick and scream until your higher self, until you have shown and proven to your ego structure, like a little child, that you really are the divine parent that can care for your ego structure, enough that it can relax and let go of controlling your life. So, that's a really profound spiritual maturity that you and I are being called into in a mighty way in 2019. And uh, I'm just so grateful that we have the year 1 curriculum that can guide anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your background is. It can guide. If you really drop in with those classes, that 30 plus class journey, and just let yourself go for the dragon ride, it will transform your consciousness. You will begin to feel and notice a lot of ego structure behaviors flaring up, and then learning how to integrate and behave in a new way according to the unconditional love of your higher self. All right, so we're coming around the bend here. Let's see, I'll answer one more question. Okay, there's kind of a few questions that go together here. One of them is about prayer, and they're asking about the patriarchal church that this person was raised in, and how they've had a complex relationship with prayer, and in that they've recently started praying again, but they don't want to fall into old programs or patterns. I want to assure you that prayer is simply having a conversation with your source, with your higher self, and with Sophia God. So whatever they taught you in that patriarchal structure, that is useful to you, keep it. Whatever is obstructing your direct conversation that you're having with God, let it go and let that conversation flow. One of my favorite ways to pray is to be at my altar, and I'll either journey or share my feelings at my altar with Sophia and with the Ascended Masters for about 15 minutes, whether it's writing or just talking out loud. And then I will allow them to respond, and I'll either write out their responses or just let myself feel it, or receive it and hear it. And then I'll just be silent and I'll just step into that space of meditation. Sometimes it's opposite. Sometimes I'll meditate first and then do the writing and the prayer. But what I allow myself to do is that it can always be unique to the moment, whether it's silence or conversation, whether it's writing or talking out loud, whether it's praying while I'm hiking or taking a walk or even working out, or just sitting very still. It's just like prayer is always happening. Your life is a prayer, your breath is a prayer. To be alive is to be inside a prayer. It's a dialogue with reality that your consciousness is engaging with. So when we say I'm praying, what we're saying is I'm becoming more conscious of the dialogue I'm already in, and I want to be even more consciously participating in this dialogue. So the more conscious we become of this dialogue that we are co-creating reality with, the more loved we feel, the more supported we feel, the more connected we feel. And that's the whole point of prayer. It's to feel connected. It's to feel that reunion with our source that sometimes can get out of focus because we're so hyper focused on physical reality. And finally, I want to add that prayer can happen anytime, at any moment. And prayer can be a feeling. Prayer can be a simple 2-word prayer like help me. How about third word now? Prayer can be I love you. Prayer can be I'm so sorry, please forgive me. Prayer can be I want to do better and I commit to doing better. Prayer can be I want to accept myself exactly as I am, and so it is. Prayer can be a 10-page love letter to yourself or someone else, and prayer could be 10 words that sets the frequency and tone of the entire day as an affirmation. Allow prayer to be just as creative as your soul is, and this will inspire your direct communion with Sophia and the Ascended Masters every day. Okay, so finally, we're going to address how do I mentor with the Ascended Masters? How can I best serve the Sophia Code, the Sophia Dragons, and the Sophia Dragon Tribe? I'm so glad someone asked this question, because this has been a question that's been on my heart very deeply over these past few months. The Sophia Code has been an international phenomenon for almost 3 years now, coming up on the 3-year anniversary this July. And I feel like I've lived about 3,000 lifetimes since the Sophia Code got released. The Sophia Code is a completely sovereign transmission. There's no publishing company that owns the rights to the sacred text, and it will remain that way forever. And for it to remain in its purity as a codex for humanity, I take the responsibility of being the oracle for this codex very seriously. And both in my commitment to maintaining the integrity of this container, the integrity of this ministry, the integrity of the businesses that support this ministry, and also the integrity of our mystery school, so that the initiates that are choosing to trust us on this journey know that they are safe and supported. As a person that survived half a lifetime of unsafety, safety is really important to me. Does that mean that I'm perfect and I never lose my temper or have a bad day? No, it just means that I have a prayer to always be as safe of a human being as I can be, and to be really humble and, when I mess up and say I'm sorry. And that's how we all want to be on our team. That's how we all behave on this team and in this ministry. It's like, we're not here to be perfect, but we are here to be both powerful and humble. And that's our prayer for this ongoing ministry of the Sophia Code movement, is for our worldwide community of initiates to be able to grow with us. We are so grateful. I'm so grateful to every single person that has ever shared a copy of the Sophia Code with another person, that has shared these initiations with their friends, loved ones, clients, and community. From my heart to yours, thank you for being a part of my prayer to, and the Sophia Dragon Tribe's prayer to activate the divine genome of humanity. As many of you know, I've sacrificed everything, my entire life for this ministry, to be where it's at today. And I also have a prayer that my particular dharma to sacrifice everything can now uh, mellow out into a get to with everyone else, being a big part of the get to of sharing the ministry. My prayers and my days of sacrifice are over so that I can celebrate this incredible codex with an international community of initiates. And I consider myself an initiate of this mystery school as well, where we're all serving Sophia together. And when I first released the Sophia Code, it was, people, we received so many emails from around the world of people saying, I can't even read your book. I pass out when I just touch it or look at it. So I just go to sleep with it. I just hold it. And it's like, wow, that's a really cool honor, and for someone to say that. And I better do something so that people can read this book and not pass out. So what I did the past 2 years was I created the year 1 and the year 2 curriculum to walk people through a very maturing, deepening reconciliation with their own divinity, their own higher self, so that they could really get inside this book and what this codex, this living transmission, is offering all of us in grace and divine interventions and empowerment and mentor relationships. It's like I had to spend the past 2 years really activating a community that could create the container for so many other people to come in. And so from my heart to every initiate out there that has gone on this journey with me over the past 2 years through the curriculum, I just want to say thank you so much. You have no idea how much I respect you, admire you, and thank you every day for your willingness to lead the way with me at these curriculums and really tending to this mystery school and our beautiful international community. Thank you to everyone who's come to the live events to receive these very powerful and very real divine genome activations. Thank you to everyone who's ever said a kind word to anyone in this community and has opened your heart to showing your wings and opening your heart to other light workers that want to be loved and supported just as much as you do. You know, we're doing something really different here with the Sophia Code movement, and it's not for everyone, but for those it's meant for. It's home for us, and it's really exciting to finally come home with each other and to feel our wings wrapping around each other. I have tears in my eyes just talking about it, because we've all worked so hard for this moment, and I'm so proud and I'm so happy to be here with you. So I'm really, 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 really excited to share that this year we're finally here at the 2019 certification program, and that is by far the very best way that you can support the Sophia Code as a movement. It's everything I've worked for. is for us to be able to do this together, side by side. For those of you who have asked me ever since the Sophia Code has been released, how can I be a leader in this movement? It's here now. It's here. We're releasing, we're starting our certification program this summer. I'm so excited about it. It's a huge step for me personally, so it's also a little bit or a whole lot vulnerable, but I have an amazing team. We have an amazing team of beautiful earth angels that are supporting this next level, because our community is growing so fast. The Sophia Code continues to be a bestseller every single day. We have new people coming to our movement every day. And what does that mean for you? It means that there are so many people that want to walk through the Sophia Code with facilitators that are supporting them to do it in an emotionally safe and sacred space. So what I have designed for this summer is a facilitator leadership certification course. A program that you can do, and then of course you have to, there's a certification approval process, but it's just simply to ensure that you're ready. It's not about good enough. It's just about making sure that everyone is really equipped and fully supported and stepping forward as a leader. And for those of you who have felt as soon as you found the Sophia Code, read the Sophia Code, that you knew that you were meant to be a part of this in a bigger way, that's what's happening this summer. We're creating the perfect blueprint for you to be able to step into your divine purpose and your spiritual leadership, walking people through the codex. We're showing people through your embodied grace, through the embodiment of your higher self, how to live in this consciousness. You're going to have those who are approved receive a facilitator's manual, marketing materials that I designed myself. And as we all know, the designs that I channel have a really big impact on consciousness, and you'll get to be a part of that, and sharing the blessings and the bliss and the wisdom that you have from your own relationship with the Ascended Masters, sharing it in these Sophia circles that you will be certified to run both in person or online. So that's my response. There is literally millions of humans on this planet that are begging to remember their sovereign divinity, which is the angelic medicine. It is the great reconciliation. As you have all, those of you who have journeyed with me over the past few years have all discovered, it's the remembrance of your sovereign divinity that heals everything, every aspect of your life. You don't have to understand how that unfolds and unfurls step by step, because it's the transmission of your own divinity guiding that healing and guiding those empowerments. And that's what you and I are being called into in a mighty way, is to facilitate that same sacred space that this container and the Ascended Masters have facilitated for you, to be able to facilitate that for others as well. So you can learn all about we're currently in the early enrollment phase. Our big launch will be in May because the program begins in June. But if you'd like to join us this year and go on the next step of the dragon ride with us, you can visit my website at kaiara.com / 2019 program. And if you'd like to talk to one of our team angels about if this program is right for you, or if you have questions about any of the other curriculum that brings you deeper into the Sophia Code Mystery School, we're happy to set up an angel exploratory phone call with you and answer any questions. There's no silly questions. We welcome them all. We're just here to support you and how you can step into your greatest empowerment with this sacred text and with our beautiful community. And so I want to thank you for this great question, whoever asked it. You got to make Kaia Ra cry on Facebook Live. So thanks for that heart opening from your question. And yeah, let's see. Oh, and then you can just check your inbox, because if you're on our mailing list, we've already sent out an email during this Facebook Live with more information about the 2019 certification program. There's a special limited time offer where you can enroll both in a very generous payment plan and a reduced price before the May launch. So if this is really in your prayer, we're happy to work with you and make it work with your budget. Just reach out, let us know how we can support you. We're just really happy to be here with you, with the opportunity for us to fly together with our wings unfurled in 2019 in the truth and the power of our shared sovereign divinity. So I want to thank each and every one of you for this opportunity to be live with you tonight, to share more about these questions. This has been such a phenomenal experience to get to go deeper with you, and we'll be doing more Facebook Lives where I answer your questions. And feel free to reach out if you'd like. If you're not in our official community forum, we have a pop-in community forum run by our amazing team angels, Megan and Karen and Ashley and Claire and Erica and Ka, and we've just got so many brilliant souls involved there. Reach out to our team and we'll be happy to invite you into our official community forum. So From my heart to yours, we'll just say a closing blessing over this space, giving thanks for your beautiful angel wings. That I see everybody's wings just so up, straight up and shiny, just blinging angel wings, and giving thanks for all of the ascended masters blessing you, body, heart, and mind, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual causal bodies, your higher self embodiment, um, witnessing your wings and every feather in your wing just shining with the light of Sophia, blessing you with your own medicine first. And then overflowing with Sophia's divine love for you, as your ministry for others, to share that same unconditional divine love with everyone else. So I know that it's really crazy out there, but you truly are, as Jesus said, the salt of this world, the sanity of this world. And I thank you and I bless you, for being that heroic at this time. It's so good to be on this heroic journey with you. Have a wonderful evening, a happy new moon, happy Chinese New Year, and we'll see you at the next Heaven and Earth Prayer Collective. Have a great night. Namaste.